Bayani nyina yahwa me hu de ekọ nansia yetu hu anamon sa afi odi nko momode se ombebi ama oman na so te abedo akodo dometre no ho nyina enso besi samre yente hu asem bia enti de yesra ne se education fo hu yemobo anazo mu hu oman se asase kura de ade esi so oman ne ka ombo wo sa asase ohunu ama obia to om ya boka hu nkofo asase ya koto de abesi school ya nyamfa so bia oti yesra education director am se hu yemobo na nka feed odwumadi ndi aka bia most emphasis be 80% de kabana de komadu kommeto aso na yentimi wie school na emfani mo nyam so mra apagya ene adanseman
empanifo me nkyiremu ade nti na school yentimi mie na so de no mo kyere no ukọ document kitu bi se ekura bi ne dey eni assembly ho simply because enya assembly project say from presidency ene buy nti nananom kura no de ade ne ba nananom ne to asase a yegina so ya sese yegina so ya de school ya bisi so nti a na ma kromafo di ya o se ya to asase na ewura ma de e block abiti so na do de dormitories mienu abeka ho na yemie de aya na community no edi ya o kakra nti yegina nananom nyina nam ene community ni nyina nam e pa che wo se nanado de wa yakoduru de wa wiewie wadawo ma behu a wo so ma rezi polytank e nyina ho a o ma ye bibia o mu tu nsuo mienu ama dormitories ni mienu nyina nti aka yi block no nti be yesrese ba bia contractor no bia no nana ensa de onsa yem ye pa uche ye nmizo be ya mai nti ye mai na amanfo ani nye wa
we eye adanse apagya e wasante mantan mu yi blog esi wo we de mu amaso mu ani mu ani so amahuru se de esi ko na wutie okasafo di kan kasa na o se onunyafo George Oduro ono no osabro no emna se bedwani no wo no na ehweye ema wo hu se bibia school dan no emu twe kakra nti no besi dormitory e de mankwada na kutumi akokotena nti no wo no so ye ne fam de esi wasi awie no akade aka kwada no entumi nkomu ama wofo naka yi blocks na doso nti ehun sem no ye obibiri wa ha as time goes on as ye din komo no na ye ka ho asem a na ye yimfoni na amohwe ne kakra saa na ye hunu bebi a yeko de nti a ne epunipu ye be kasafa yi blog no se eno na asem a sisi betuma ka se a trend pa na nye se trending po kekempo no eye wo me dachi ho asem na ye ka mesan se ye de free na ha ye ba ye ebetuma ka sa abo man koda dodo no akosuku nanso no kuremu de no kura bakope ama school so no abom ma dodo enti ama school so no kwara ntumi nko school mo so ye ko no green white yellow track ye nyina enim dada no kura bakope na se ye ka enti se dan we nyina ho na se bi ntumi nya hu bibia man kwara ne bi enko ho a ana ha adwene enti se tumi hwe ne ye ka ho asem abanda da na kire se wo mu ti dodo bi na dodo no mu si ye no wo mu wie bi abanfoforo so kire se dodo na donkuma na se abadada ne ka no enye sa na tie abadada ne kire se dodo amoye no sanka ban iba na kobeto aso ye de aka na ka wawie dodo na ka nwirem ene hu nsem bebre aflaudie se wan hui ene me ahodo no bebre ntie ne Kwasi Kwarteng wono ena ekasa ede maso ye hwe homasua nsem so ene ato sa de frede abafia se womo ena ehwe homasua so womo ena school dan ehwe omase ehun sem etisen ntie ne ye no ebo empunimpu Kwasi akwaba
ya enyu Jacob
de bia boko de
Jacob ni medini ba zo so ho ye
yeho adom ho ye papa me ba homasua ho sei ene nso ho asem an na mani abre ai sanse school ye nyina e ko kakra
that's true
ene ye de edu bebia ye duri ena aban mu mpanyifo nyina nso enye school yi a kamituna kasa nkanya de anka mu nyina o se those days ani ye ko saito no wo so wan ko saito dadaba
me ko kakra
ko hi
oh me se me bebia me ko na mete duase o se asante achem do me abra na me free na ho na asante achem north ne central ho no na mete duase ho na me na nante age
okay
now we me drive for ho and start early
local authority
local authority ti early na free wa echi de ba akonongo and nyanya Oxford no moko ya nsa na yeko Holy Virgin mako yi you start
oh saito
no bi
saito de papa sabre no yeko classes ana ko san 1 stand 1 and ya ni san 1 san 2 san sa ha enti stand 7 no eno eye bra wawie form 4 na akokotwere be school living certificate examination no na wakokotwere na sa exams na friend hall na friend hall enti ehumehwa ho samu hia pa ifo dodo ye ka wasem wo nyina ko school di bi to mu se city Kwasi
Ajakaba
e-block ene ho samsam e-block dodo sen ena mobile na are ready to for occupation.
Ajakaba me da say but e-block on common no the be idea o hear conversation and I'm happy say ne o fi di you be cheche mu ye abribia no you take the text out of the context nti ye twa enkomo no ho bi na ye die but the larger enkomo na angasa ye mfa mfiri ho
okay
nti one mfa mfiri ho a you won't be able to appreciate challenge angasa when it comes to infrastructure deficit and I say infrastructural problems secondary school level and I say even the whole educational landscape and so you who say the e-block no so yeah just a portion of it as you deal with from 2017 era Dr. Bodu no get fund bra president Richard Bodu President Akufo-Addo take office no or instructor almost say omuni dwuma bi ma no especially infrastructure or infrastructure na ongoing in the educational sector no nti omo predate back from 2017 no na infrastructure nkwa mako 3870 I think 3897 anana ewo ho a ongoing. And if we want to place a definition, there are blocks, so it's an ongoing project be abandoned there. Then technically you can argue say those were also literally abandoned projects because these were projects and they free president for time. By Professor Mel's time, President Mahama time. After time, President Mahama free officer, President Akufo-Addo buy. Now there was a number of 3,897 of them. So 3,897 of them, President Akufo-Addo buy, and also taking initiatives obey because I mean the whole beauty about governance and say also buy over to us. You will be the what was and if you look at the narrative principles of state policy in Ankasana, I share a quite of mining the emphasis. The President Akufo-Addo so buy a lot of these projects are now perceived abandoned. No, none of them had funding, but over to us. Why am I 1,001? I mean, I say, okay, basic level. Why infrastructure and 571 and Meka with respect to those abandoned projects. They don't know buy on one secondary level 346 now, tertiary 84. And two can have 1,001. Now what is 1,001 free 3,897 in Ubanya 2,896 projects. So 2,896 projects you buy on no hunumpo and aka, which means these are the projects as at now you can call them abandoned projects. If you want to place our interpretation say ongoing project to be our home friend abandoned now. But for me, I'm a free Ministry of Education there. My friends say ongoing projects. Even though from President Kufuor time, projects are still ongoing and go for by Bia Ubu and can make my friends say ongoing project. So 2,896 okay. And no President Kufuor say yen ho adwuma. So e-blocks no asema ye kan ewum. E was our projects here making. E-blocks no na 124 of them. So bakaya 2012, 2013, I mean, in the heat of the political season, you know, was the former president Mama Sheboso obesi maku 200. For me, it was a good thing because your education wasema. And woman shani bebrebe nyina the FAPEM is pivoted on 3 variables. The first one is access. So be beam, ama obi any opportunity ahead. Akobi. After you be able keke, then you have to ensure that there is quality. And you quality no be continuous professional development allowance honorable edition no by the diamond teachers for some and develop muhi. Beyond that, and also be the textbooks be review curriculum said about education and only centered on be reading and writing, but you train students on be assertive, critical thinkers and problem solvers. That is quality. Ufruwa SS so bound for summer society relevance. And your normal means how we understand what we say education SCP. Now back to access no. In your normal kind also basic 200 community day senior high schools. And you make a statement, I make it just a quick comment on it. Say a school at done especially at the secondary level no and Kwaranko no. And because of the system I use no. Or system who leave students to make their choice in respect to secondary school or pa obi abe fa chemota especially when the person qualify. Upo the neighbor so. And there are a lot of projects and a lot of school buildings and Kwara wo musa. But population also other schools no say there also. And the mind the double track but say ka say very assertive partner and ka say government they make a place will be out to be or no government pa can we even have infrastructure problem at the secondary level. But when we kwasama na make also o promise you 200 you were able to out of 200 now promise you know as a timer now o ma contracts no o ma 124 of them e jacob na wo team yi pa 124 no emu Mako 23 na World Bank na sponsor sa projects. And practically the government of Ghana was sponsoring or was funding 101 of them. As a time at NDC for free office and cumulatively between government of Ghana projects and the World Bank sponsor no maybe Mako 29. And no free office because over the contracts most of the contracts and our they say latest by 2016 will be every year because I mean 2016 you know never election year so anything could happen obetima to us and also intimate then to us and I feel say the flagship policy didn't be obeso owie but owie you know as at 2016 over free office no tima Mako 29 sisia me no ka say e-blocks no jump from a number of 29 to 60 of them 60 are currently in operation any news in the say they have been operationalized let us say any part there e wo man kwara there e komusia there of course the jacob na what different figures yes so mo kono bi e mo so we 46 so what bia yes so handing over load na 46 na men ka say ntimi nya no kre it could be possible na explanation wo hu nie ukwo if you go about commissioning projects are incomplete here you can have the numbers for instance to say aflaodie who's aflaodie and the building is one more fidie no ko twa cameras ni the building looks complete. If today Honorable Duchum wants to play that politics, the obey answer of Kwako Commission e-block project completed. But enya dia nkra beti ma yusu. And the over Ministry of Education agency be a friend FPMU. Or more and responsible so best certify say project na where we know what idea beti ma dey yusu ana. As a time and name move through office no 29 of them were completed. Completed means akuyesim teacher ni benya baby atna library room science laboratory room na nya say edan ne keke na ye dey isi and so they were able to complete 29 of them until now catch yourself we 46 it's possible but what did that only means they say a commission project and won we but back to the American yes you buy it we 31 what they come 29 no it makes cumulatively in 60 so there will be a balance of 64 that you all have to account for so balance of 64 you are categorizing into three phases the first phase in a year above 60%. And you know, it be a 60, it be a 70, it be a 80, it be a 90, it be a 95, it be a 96. This is recently a Flaudi. What's a Flaudi and the bra, your Azumu power, now you're 23.47%. And I'm going to prove to you the chronology of events. Osha, who's a Oma contractor, at every point in time, if it be IPC, that is the interim payment certificate. So, I buy my contractor now, say whether at the district level, whether at the national, for instance, at the top government level. Usually, government doesn't provide funding directly for the contract. So, we can get no raise be a friend interim payment certificate. Get one. The first one, for instance, a flower project. First one, IPC, the first one, Umurizi was on the 22nd of July, 2016. Now, project in the status was 12% because Obek baby a project na the Edru and who's the kind of the bed a mount. Second one was on the 3rd of August 2016. That project in 16%. The third one was 18th October 2016. That project in 23.47%. And 2016 is here and the NDC4 and I say union free power. Then beyond that, fourth one was on the 5th June 2017. The project status was 33.76%. The chronology or the friends say summary of payments can go on. But as of now, it's at 96%. And so again, it defeats our impression. I wouldn't be ascribing names, but you have, for instance, socially exposed persons, any highly influential persons, a critic say, as a project for the past 5 years, being called no project be anywhere, or believe at 23.47%. All of a sudden they do 90%, 96%. A project now, all of a sudden they don't see no. It means a Bible a twice. And so that impression is also wrong. And but my member the na me no work no so
me so member mu ansa na wa ye hwe adanse apagade
okay
eno na omo ye basically na a day school
okay
enti no almost na me se no mawie utie nsamo mo kan na ba mo ba na mo hu se bebie se de ho wa enti no se wo mo de mo de ye boarding ka ho a ebetumi aboa ama mo so mo de boarding infrastructure na se edan a bebie ankwara na bedan so ebebe kan ho. Etino sa ehonom no na ye can say it was a completed project and now say it was semi completed and now abandoned. I be clarify say eno ye de wo hibia
sa school bia ye de boarding facilities aka nya honkwa okọ baby to say Bono East Kwame Krom Basa there are also community days in high school about the body account one basic challenge in NSA was the siting of the schools. A lot of them were cited poorly. And I'm not saying that because probably I speak for be a Honorable Minister of Education and the government. But my member example, be the school, be the Kwabenya, for instance. We had the siting of Kwabenya. It was so fantastic. The whole concept about community day senior high school, you say, baby, a higher populace, now they see when I'm crying there, ako. And the Kwabenya say, students have even oversubscribed. And the has a buying currently, I even expanded. And so here now, the original project in the cry. If you want to do the politics of it, you can't call it E-block because they say the boarding facilities not there, they have become. Example, so they are working. What it means in they say, we share projects, I will say, the whole concept of community day senior high school. And then now, we see school, no, not in the communities, but some of them 7 kilometers away from the community. 7 kilometers away from the community. What it means, they say, one provided even bus for it. Say, no,
almost started koi, and one provided buses.
My member example, school Professor Mills Krumo. You post within 3 months will be a free school because so shed nanti or ben nanti. I could have debate man nanti 7 kilometers out of school. No class of every or class over there now can be. And what it means is if you cite such a project be a deboarding facility account be as at now was a project which was poorly cited. I'm stating it on authority here because what it means is I'm crying to me assess it. Into what government will have to do is buy sarcophagus for no be converting into boarding. Into the original concept send community day senior high school now it has been defeated because one is also Caribbean who have to call back. Internet as a project na the was one of the major setbacks.
Okay. Omo ka say asase na omo de ye no. Na nanom na de asase na ma omo. The available land e wo ho no na e de ma omo. Enti no na wo ni option bia. 2 Obeti say University of Ghana Legon schools how they can wasem nyina presec no masifo nyina no na eye bebia na yesi e betu aka say bia eye na wo wirem kakra. And so as development goes on no aye kakra mana bedu bebia ewo ama isise mu atere 2 3 omusi wo me ahodo tsa de be ya anya hwekura no omenya asase eso na so kire bi expansion bi kokoba womotumi akwakokoye enti sa reasons me ensan no ento asomu kakra
obi a obeba me sa reason bia no for me make say is a poor policy reasoning. The reason why I make us say what was the concept or the main purpose in here if you are applying the purposive approach of interpretation to the omoye na first question is didn't no take it that decision. The whole idea was to increase access. What I say it's always say ubi mu man kra it doesn't really matter about the location. Okwa Kwasi school esi baby a enkora 20 beko na people are overpopulated at another point na the point about more argument about land not land say baby ahemfo na dey asase ma omo no Kwasi when they didn't have an option of land adena when yai sa baby a Kwasi 7 kilometers away no one fa bia school na mesi baby a enkora benya access for instance the fabia ekrom Fabra be say and can Fabra be say Kumas Fabra be say Takrade and then you post students there and then even make it boarding facilities. Again, the another option I know one say me ko Konongo Dumasi Senior High School. Instead say be about call domi chili ho baby Akwasi school SCB a at the end of the day no operational costs you even tend to lose because you connect electricity, obe connect road, uni boarding facilities. And now top access amount crown and then you'll be providing education for 20 students. Meanwhile, now the start school no bar Konongo Dumasi Konongo ABC or Konongo Dumasi school must say what they expand on more facilities at the end of the day wait my person crab 1,000. So it's about the options. And again, it should tell you say the intent and purpose of Modura our project in the it was just to size schools at places probably your parliamentary candidate to enter the school maybe some way somehow you have to vote for the person. Other than that, if the original purpose and the intent about the schools and I said building of the schools was still create access, location was not necessarily the key factor. You could have cited it baby and no mumbebwa said the main purpose of increase access can no mumbe the ebeko. I talk about the remaining 64 once a month buy. The remaining 64 schools, and I'm going to say, put you into different categories. May they can't say same so, and the impression I say I create I cancel 27 of them. Is indeed some of the contracts have been revoked, but we church or honor. So remaining 64, you are categorizing into 3 of them. And I'm make us say a mu Maku 21 was above 60%. I'm the bar aflaudi. And the mu Maku 16 it was between 25 to 60%. And also a project in there ongoing. And they moved 27 of them on so the government has terminated the contracts for varied reasons. But more instances be brave. adekunti a government dey terminate sa eno na me ne me penny Clementa Park no create impression bi say aban ta bi nim aban person obey NDC for project nti na obey or cancel some of them but ma me ncha wade o hwe school bi ti say Langbisi wo East Mamprusi district eno the contract status no contract anity me 8.94% na say wani mu kakra oba Sabaria and the Sabzugu district or ye zero is a one site kra West Mamprusi and also na bako will be a fraud nasia e hoso ye zero yendi municipal so bako ho e hoso ye zero oba Jako Techiman 1% Bo 1% oba Atietu 2% Chifu Himan 2% ye ma contract I say Jacob na worker now the car na come out mechanic na ka je mechanic say bia wonya engine fault onye now 1 month 2 months 3 months 4 months 5 months akwa 18 months na mechanic na nye car na car ni siwo ochena the same mechanic na be ka say even though only agree say we between 200 cedis no say no call spare parts ni mu ato nti say 200 cedis wonye bio nti the same engine na bia akoye na bia 200 cedis no because say we mechanic ni fail to do it within a reasonable time frame and the two parties agree on it, you know, what it will mean is say you may not have to be paying about 1,000 or 2,000 cedis for the same fault. And government feels say economically it is not prudent, financially it is not physical to make such a decision. And so it was based on that. One, my main stating were free days to say a bright move free power no. So aside 29 of them no my no and World Bank, them say World Bank they not around 22 because no more my 7. Aside World Bank, the other World Bank was funded. Emu BN who provide funding for any of them. Not even one of them did they provide funding for any of them. And see, the Jacoba and say, you see CE blocks, mama contract. Into where Jacob na minimum, mama from Jacob na me CE blocks. We make Kwasi biwa Asante Achem Tommy Abra. I want Kwasi Kwarteng free. Kwasi bako bi Kwasi Kwarteng club contest MP. Nti Kwasi bako ho. No Kwasi. Ya making the budgetary allocation for it. The answer is Kwasi. We are raise the IPC. Sabai wusika, sabai nisika. Na diaba. And no, that was the major setbacks that affected a lot of these projects. In the contract accord, when no one demand resist or Baunyashe or Cochlear site at 1%, a lot of them had these challenges. In the space of 18 months, 19 months, 20 months, now the work status is 0%. And so, if we're a real businessman, how will you allow such a contract to go on? Clearly, we terminate such a contract. And the buy terminating such a contract, the impression should be say, a buying pencophobia, some terminating contract. Sure, a buying is rather looking at the larger picture because the larger picture no is even the other 2,896 projects and also what a buying any anya buying a starting you obi na starting sa projects no went man day anya no jai hoye day ekoya buying so day beyond that no sa projects ya machire wu nyina aban tackle wu nyina no outside the buying ankasa buy in the priority areas as oye because when you say a campaign based on certain policies and ideas, was me transform education from the grammar type of education to science, technology, engineering, and math, and that has been the vision of Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Yawase Duchum. And you have to first of all again create access, especially at the secondary level. It didn't also be by aviation and engineering, so could do tertiary and son would do. Why? A bra baby to the United States aviation almost started at the KG level. And before our best started out, even the university first year no be doing 14 years. 20 minutes in your pedal. Into a binary so the news I didn't want to buy or no basis in the project or no so by any day. And no, and a buying so and also no, he is even combining the two. And so creating impression say abandoned project, especially when on records projects a war 3,897 of them no abandoned to maybe 1,001. Say be necessary as when abandoned cry day any beyond that beyond 1,001 where we know. I have no sure a Becca 2,896 may still make on old projects no 2,896 no emu I think 940 or less than 30%. A mu 1,066 between 30 to 70%, and a mu 890 over 70%. No, at least you can be rest assured said over 70%, which is 890. No, a buying should complete in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months, or maximum in the next year. What is 890? 1,001. How much figure are we looking at? And so, how can you make a case to say abandoned projects? Is it because we started E-block? To be very honest, if you want to play the politics of it, today it is no longer E-blocks because projects in the Musi, a lot of them, the structure has changed. and the boarding facilities are coming, so you can't even call them E block.
And the dinner the man no it is in your best
Friend Mahama E block. Who's 29? I just have my person. Who's 29? Oh, friend Mahama E blocks. Obi abeti 31. Oh, did this on the point in front of the E block. We cannot reduce it to that.
Obi ni polish or the buy and say me sis adan we.
And one year.
And now or ye be so on the 4 years na year. Obi say me miss our question we. Say Kumasi school back one kono go senior high school e kan wasem yi no. So na call e. Ha.
Kono would mase.
Or say kono go Dumasi senior high school. Na e kono go Dumasi secondary school course.
A course school.
Was Sabresi school dan no na nya de e wo kuru mfimfin. Na wa chire nso ne kakra no. Kuro no abeben ho. Enti ne se ya kase school dan baby site no nya baby e se ye de kosi ho a se na shada entwa yie sanse kuro mfimfin so de ye de school ko ho na yeden e sanse ko amanone a baby school wo ene baby ankoda fibo school no ayade a ewa pa eno eye baako eno baako so se okay
aja kwa bana per that logic no na na ka kwabanya de ne kani kwa so musi no kan so mo komi kuro ma sante atem dom no mo kosi baako aja kwa bana one e also ohun botaye ntia yesi schools no yes say there has been a surge in our secondary schools
kwabanya de se me ntwa wanu kwabanya de no say nananom na den sase ne ma ye wo hwe we outside kwabanya enye kwabanya pi eno musi no ehon baby obetumi nya asase asi no apart from no munya asase
obi eja kwabna sa debate about asase ne say school no benyina beto no one you were curing a problem the problem no say was in kwara classrooms nko in the media it was the agency of the movement who cure problem no na the solution to the problem na work no will take effect in the next 20 years dia na say won cure problem bia wo say nkwara bebre tifi ntia wo create access na wo say ne wo kosi school no baby still e man nkwara na access dia what does say and no na obi friend cobra effect no wo say wo solve problem then the solution to the problem is becomes a problem just how you solve a problem yes ampa wo say ahemfo ma wasase what prevented you say for instance sa school ye bia amfa say bia ka kwakosi asi e bia ade mara na bia nkwara 20 bekom no for school na bra konongo sini konongo Dumasi inside just to expand their facilities at the end of the day no any space na open and so say space na open dem kora koguma then now there you just probably want to place someone until you have to site it in a place what's the school wa presec le go na kora be kuma put it in presec man kora mrem at the end of the day still cures the same problem na ko si room na kora nkoma solution
my more typical example be about school or dance school afi na or dance senior high school baby wono ewa chiri papa se kwara betu aka samanford ACC dan man ya ben ho ewa chiri pa stolen kwara no ko schools have to ahudo bit so Cape Coast for instance
boarding
or dance school boarding
we ka community days in
but when so no dance school no so day students so ko
good so ebia krona nyina to no
enti krona nyina to no still na no ba na for a distance as what to me akọ
7 kilometers
what to me akọ Obi can say the rate at which at development course no according 10. And for us to be able to ABA in a secondary school, by the time will come based on as I say war land size in a seafood a secondary school. I didn't think I am for technical university be ankan waha. And if you am for university ankan prekona kwara no ewie SHS no na straight away no mo university with the same area no na eno so tumi abo ma na tumi be ABA that might be one a year e bo mo kosi wo ho. Enti back to there maybe sano say school so dodo no a eya bonte enwira mu yesi no e chiri ha enti say ye ka se yesi no kuru fifi emenkro within 2 3 4 5 years no na ama da fe ne ebe pesika kosi bi oba bi foforo sa na obi se bi misa wa ha
ajakwabna
yes sir.
Say the easiest solution to problem no mo okay on say instead say we kosi school onwram na in 10 years na nkwara 20 na bekom na no pa bia waso light waso air condition am administrators wasa connect road network wasa ama school no bus na obi operational cost alone becomes very expensive for the state entimi mbe na nkwara 20 penny bekom no ade na sa building na no onfa mama school kono go Dumasi na won expand na fe woman nkwara ne ma because that is an already established institution so the whole idea na anything na me ma history me ma free the whole ongoing project na me open conversation is it's not really about e-blocks or some the account but it's about a kwanya be for so I expand the access who go to school baby na enkwara ntimi nkwa at the end of the day we defeated the purpose until we see school no for say school ni bra etwe baby enkora beti my de akọ at the end of the day say enkora akọ na na de ekọ oh nti school ya wo ka ho asem say say for say school si na bebre enkora ntimi enkomu ya government had to add boarding facilities originally no say na e say 200 now promise na hwe na woni huzika any other na won see 100 na 100 no for boarding facilities in down enkora anko I don't know, I won't see 100 now for boarding facilities. The whole idea is because we are making campaign promise. Is
that the reality? Is that a reality? Let me say, I'm fine. Okay, I'm fine. So your campaign promise. And now, want to be sitting in envy. Most will buy almost 5 years in here. Again, I'm why they are found a bit to me. Dear Casse, a be a more yet. I'm obiang say. They tell me Cassasimi. Be woman much share. You're fine. Say, Oko Northern Regina. Kuroba Bakuaha. Bakuaha ni nyina atete ne ho enti se ya adwene se kwa kosi yemfa ne se kurumi bod din bi keke dampare about 8 kilometers from Damire and 9 kilometers from Kusiegu
okay
and 10 kilometers from Nampara and Nasefo a se kosi ewo Kusiegu ane ayi a dampare for ni won so ebeka say enti ade ne yensi no infinfin enti at least where the 5 kilometers beba where the 6 beba where the 7 beba where the 4 beba enti at the end of the day no the whole community enya sa school no fa so since say ye be kokosi okuru ba ko so a age sa chire ni sa be si okuru foforo so okuru ba ko so sana na ka osu sanka enya no
that is one aspect. The second aspect is say we are also can see confusion. What it means is say can add boarding facilities to it. Again, me and you feed the whole concept about E-blocks on. E-blocks on here community day senior high school.
Yeah.
Community day. One school need a day. It's a crown or and you could see school is 7 kilometers away. What happen? Unless of course say what's me at be our boarding facilities now here. Oh yeah. And it's a boarding facilities there. It doesn't matter baby akora na dey school. After all say me go school same. UDS na me call me my first degree. Me free asante achem and na me go school same. But me say me call hostel facilities or ha. Say 4 months school met na ho answer na my dey maba. Oba ebi a obi ono so free. Na dem class free school Siremu Max school ebi a Legon ha na nkran ya dey nyina because there is provision for accommodation. In this conversation I have, there was no provision for accommodation. The whole purpose was say school no ewa kra no catchment area e won the community or so ya no pa no na 10-15 minutes obedu school mu ho but won't mean sisa school no enkosi no baby say what's in 7 kilometers away wa ama buses wa ama budgetary allocation for it wa constructive road bia no wa just school na say why ba anono 97 kilometers en so ya no pa nko school mra again e ho no na board to bear mu no enti ene oyoko me no ka say oyoko senior high school no wo bosom chwe district we the girls dormitory they say oguso oye the boys dormitory baby am ma besa community for instance e ho say waye boys dormitory ho enti there is a challenge, there is a huge problem na e wo ho aye address it. And that huge problem was one of them was beyond even funding now one budgetary allocation was the poor siting of the schools. It has to take the intervention of the Minister of Education, Honorable Dr. Yao said, which say, well, no SNCC and add additional friends, boarding facilities.
One which I said, obey the message be a man wants to say, or say, I should let you know, say, Abani see community days in high school when cynic. No more there were other near be an Ebeka home. It said, woman say a baby a one. Government idea about consensus and commercial say or provided buses. Let me find Kwadande Womako school. Said the no amaya who do be so. You
want 500 over buses and other Makaba DBA.
Operational cost. Obviously, the government never found. Now, your parents is with you at Chebi. But when they tell me, make us say, Yakasi Besino crew, baby, a bank group. Anything can happen. We can have change of mind. They say, they say in school, not so original. Okay. And yet,
a problem so busy school crew man and
any problem. Obin can say a problem.
School in factory into your crew man say
Obin can say a problem. But the attorney said, sir, I dare say, you know, schools out there can was a minute. Schools are can was a minute. Omin say pa. Presecani. Achimoteni. Achimota when you can see expanded between expanded bankrofo encroach assassin. It am say I headache at the match motor senior high school penny for pa. Presec and other schools no esu. Until say you what this information and I say with this situation behind us say e bia si da say see no nkrofo ji asase from asase na ade na ye nkosi wa chiri kakra na as time goes on within a span of 2 3 4 5 years no I want to between asase kakra
many problem with that me just analogy ni tum perfect submission but we yen sa mankwara ne baby o mbeda and man 7 kilometers no 19 feet do me nkwa de emra so oku school
ni nyina na 7 kilometers
I mean averagely but the point is that ekwa na wa ankwara ntimi asese enti so we yen sa obi ni problem with that but so we yen sa na opa ko sisi baby a person wo sibia no problem, nobody has a problem with that but for ancillary facilities ankwara ne betima use ultimately go see school 5 kilometers, school 2 kilometers, 7 kilometers away. Now, what can say? Your whole idea is that that be expanded. Here the problem is that be expanded, but that be expanded. Yeah. Now the body are there. Aka home. Unye enkomo being missy and twaso and for board in home. Now backlog projects are from President for time over 3,897 of them are who be JB do their account home. Nipa no sa tackle say on why 2001. Emu 890 about 70% complete. We are not catching the because of abandoned projects.
Per assessment in the schools do saying and you see so fast as 7 kilometers I can't say no. Schools no do draw saying and na a way chiri sa.
Let me get you the but at least you see I mean say emu 9 of them were horses see me no can say yeah they are constructed boarding facilities are there. Amano. I think I'll get it for my win na me fama. But okọ baby to say Besa community na make can say and no yeah the boarding facility aka ho. Okọ I think Kwame Krum Bono East Bono yes and also yeah Bono East go baby and also yeah the boarding facilities are there aka ho. Okọ baby to say Oyoko say yeah the boarding facilities are there aka ho. Drobonso for instance the boarding facilities are there aka ho. At least I mean offered is metimenya bear 4 or 5 are there but at least 9 of them are currently or yeah I just say yeah the boarding facilities aka ho and encourage my there issue. And these are all schools that are very far distance. Yeah, I'm for boarding facilities and can the NE. And beyond and no yeah you know the other ones so other categories I can say be a 25 to 60% complete. A lot of them also SS are the boarding facilities here they can. Nobody has a problem with where you site your schools. But all concept and the intention is say oh your community did senior high schools among crying access no akono asabe fear. You don't cite it at places I was citing no. So over citing at places I was citing for boarding either.
Is it necessary say so the boarding can
now a bit man 97 kilometers
yeah na be kind say they were to provide buses said by bit you fan kwada na
the buses what to say
one start operation and son move fra ba mu
and the OC school is like chile no at buses
there be na me Ghana for me kai some chiche buses in schools be yes I remember chiche buses in schools be say ebia mo record mu na ho a me refi but me search na ma hwe
no your community days in high school so Jacob na ayi ukọ we na make na ukọ bodu asese ya e also say the board there aka ho Krokompe ewo and also Table bu Amantem district board nka ho Basa community senior high school also board nka ho Oyoko na make no so Bosomtwe Drobon so say the board aka ho e bi wo ho a mame fa nko central na first school be Impaha community senior high the ohwe enrollment 2017 na ye 0 2018 na ye 0 2019 na ye 0 2020 na ye timide students are there akọ because oja kwara post no ko ha onko there so baby dey be a boarding facilities here the because baby a school nation no also community day senior high school na kwara no nya dey onko nti me dey massive na ye tiawa the idea was great but over the implementation it was poorly done again impression o ma create say aban baaye no wa abandon project it's also not true aban na tackle sa project no beyond that no aban na sa konechi hey now budget education minister ka budget sen ka dey focus on other areas so your priority but aban na sa konechi other projects why 1,001 of them other ones no class how various stages of completion nti me pese ye clear argument and say hey aban abandon projects already it was even a deceitful offense said narrative no mind I didn't know ye Jacob na won come because move media for musan say 200 no promise was start yamba obia nim say 200 yes na Ghana obia nim say 200 but he didn't even start 200 he awarded 124 contracts
say me bo because see am fa say onipa no ehye bo say obehya say within 4 years and no ka so be 200 ɛna ebia wahye ase within that 200 on kaso besi no say ye furniture be furniture sanso dia mo so mo kan say mo besi how many secondary schools within the first 4 years over maybe about 300 I think na komia say something like that enti meba enti as we speak no tumi asi say mo bia mo tumi si
if it's about it's all about priorities oba ban mu now what 3,897 projects and ya ye mu 1,001 crore say abandoned projects it's about your priorities and your focus as government. If me na me Kwasi Kwarteng na me president, I'd rather finish those projects. It doesn't mean say me projects na me schools maybe schools be money infrastructure development beyond even backlog na clear no. Infrastructure at the secondary level is 961 as at last year. So 961 no. If today President Akufo-Addo elected say obese bu ba akokra a secondary school on its own, no dey here for political expedience akwenya. So and so it's not about say please it's not only about say the political points now best score no. The problem is that what was the problem? Issue is what was the problem? How have we been able to address the problem? Because by what clear backlog now out of 3,897 what be clear 1,001 1,001 okay as we see be a secondary schools we knew about over 500 secondary schools on running 161 projects are why at the secondary level now a dining dormitories in and you know or converting into body or converting to schools we now about 300 of them sa okọ STEM senior high school see we see baako abomosu Pesempe kwada so daba akrode awaso wager Kwasi diaso deduakono or converting to be as a bia you know yes our politics of it and now ko abomasua is an ultra modern structure I been see that ultra modern structure and these are the move I just come in never kwa twitwa so ka say that what you mu ba kokura yi bia ba kwa secondary school kwai so for me it's not about say you want to score political points. The most important thing is what is the challenge? How do you address the challenge? Your infrastructure deficit and I say infrastructure abandonment. You can want some secondary level. And there now be my account. And for me, we share the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. I said, which many President Akufo-Addo, or more commitment, or more demonstrating. Market can be actually where you can say it's our abandoned project. Why you be brave? No, so air so what they are coming now.
We share osisia na we produce some information be say according to Honorable Okujetua Blakwa ose mo share boss mo the 18 months and ABC schools no do no about 300 a year schools no 5 years along the line
18 months of which of the schools because no more case baby na no come house and no so mo can say 18 months once me can no more can schools under trees once more and no minim say no has am na can
say no obi me ka say bosumi do nwotwe momo de no me pese e be no e be ne se bia de amanyo sambe ba mu bebre san se ba mu bebre a e be defeat di ntia ye te yankasa so oba be kire ye dodo a wo ho ne dodo ase ba ye ne de ka na bi say per your assessment no schools no o kan so be si 200 schools me boa community days in high school 200 so 200 no e mu dodo san na e wa chiri eno no ama accessibility no akoko edadwen de ama yen
Ajakabana
yes sir
200 no emu 60 of them are currently operationalized 60 no majority of them na are day schools what I say what happened they say one na ehun sika ni hwa edibesi ono si 29 na okoye na tell say obi no aban na beto aso no so no ekwan bia so ono so si di aka so ho nti eno ewo ho nti ono so bae no ono so abesi di aka na the 31 account 29 no ha na be de abe 60 nemum even within this 60 no ye we mu bebre so ho a aban had to add other ancillary facilities to say boarding houses na make house man san no de we wi ena baby to say adekulu for instance eho ye the boarding facility ye de ka ho the boarding facility aka ho bia che say eno wachire what I say dia so ye the boarding facility ye de eka ho ye frem ko bi ya brem eho so ye the boarding facility ye de eka ho empasa empaha eho so ye the boarding facility ye de eka ho ana me say medical aka oyoko no mo ne oyoko ne adrobon so ye de edada ni nyina ye far distant friends say schools are eno de ewo chire pa no one for boarding facilities and counter untimi nye de unyusu aside that no that is within the 60 na maka 17 maka to saka 64 ne mu 27 there the contract has been revoked for non-performance which means a better deficit of better balance of I think 37 no so no ye obi bu ho so a we assessment na assess the boarding facilities here dey come home yes
obi the message bebe Kwasi no say good morning Jakwabna Asanteman Senior High School was first a day school, and it was built at the center of Kumasi. Now it is not a day school, and a lot of people are going there, thereby making the school congested because there is no land for expansion. All the land has been occupied, so building schools far from the community is somehow necessary.
Nti oko si no hono obi ankwe adana ne onko Prempeh College na onko si say school na onko expand Prempeh no mo asase no ana onko Opokuare omo asase ko si no ho for san kwara na abrem at the end of the day students will be able to access it. So it's about priorities. And yes, we see that it's about priorities, and these are policy directives. Me see that them kwara ntimi nkom na kwara 10 penny be ko ma be see the Kumasi na me ntimi dem kwara 1000 akom anu mo so mo fa so
me person me share ayi bi ebra na ye wo me kai susa no ebi no mu fi anyinam aba Abuakwa State College Abusco e wo chibi ebi no mu efi suhum as day students e ko chibi su Abusco e wo chibi ebinum efi enkurase enkurakan ne miahodro ekọ technical school ne vocational school ne nasefo Kofurudua a wom ye day student etisi ebisa se baby ya site no yefo se entam bibisa se 200 no mu no emudu do sen na baby ya ewo no eye so fast enkwada no twimi access wo eno be very very important. Near with the percentage, yes, track a percentage now.
I can 200. Messi say 124. 124 no create 27. Those contracts has been revoked. And so if you want to know the number, 124 minus the 27. And no crown is how in categories. The 60 has already been completed. Market was emu 9 there. I just say here the boarding facilities are there. I can't. The other ones, no, we have to. I mean, the assessment is still ongoing. Yeah, we be share that nine. No, we be to make the boarding facilities are there. I can't want as one fanka. But Adiwe you know, Ama Honorable Minister of Education has taken a very bold decision. Ama the initiative about importance can't want some of it. On way now on when school abandonment.
That may trim what maybe so say. We shall be the outcome say so far to our schools been 9 now. We say wait till more boarding facilities account.
That is with in the 60 now.
60 now.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
And the other ones, no, they don't have.
Okay. Okay. In friend say 60, and na emu 9 aye far away. 51 aye accessible. So this says because of the 9, it's able to me aka say the schools were building far away. And makwada ni access to the school now. There be o say asema na make nyina yes. I was speaking on 2 issues. One, hey. Defeating the arguments that the projects have been abandoned. Now, Mecha said they have not been abandoned. Yes. Because we 29, nobody 31 become one. Only can say abandoned. And 2, as we say, I don't know yentimi we any na. And Mecha say yentimi we say 1 where nya husika. And found 2 until we buy and no pay husika and no making one of his key projects and son or there. Oh yeah. Other ones we say 1 pay husika or no sa pray prosika si we block project. I just saw the body facilities here there. Eka home e man kwara no, which means say pay sika no bebre here there. Eka home. So these are 2 different things that we are talking about. We are not saying say because say schools no could see a change na e be yen. No. If indeed we check out 31 of them has been operationalized. No kwara ko school. A lot of them are day senior high schools. But even if we check the statistics, statistics a lot of them are enrollment very 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 poor. Mama fa ombra baby to say a friend say Upper Denchira East Municipal. It will school be a friend Chechewere Community Senior High School. Enrollment 2017 upuso akorebia akwa onko nti 0. 2018 upuso akorebia akwa onko 0. 2019 akorebia akwa onko 0. Me hana school ni awie 2020 61. Eja kwabna oye businessman now option say school ya no e bia ka obesi ni krom on. Now to be the inquiry 2000 kuma. And you only say chrome classes in baby for. At the end of the day, the whole idea is say person will expand the access and now increase access. Fabric school are already established school. Expand the access nothing crown best selective will be brain form or call. You may keep comments, be me say I join Shadama. So me say the challenge what educational sector when it comes to infrastructure, especially at the secondary level, no. And because say school die in the hole. No.
is one of the major challenges is because of the system that we use. Be our choice or selective score open. Nyanso no qualify also the man. Into a lot of enquiring now selective baby is achimota, or selective baby is a presec, or selective baby is a infantiman, or selective is a wood must or the man. And so if you want to cure a problem of access, and what's our places in our expanding infrastructure?
Now, how many of those schools are can once more? And as we speak, almost as and what Yabaka say to me expanding to accommodate in Kwadabe better. I meanwhile, I'm funny say, should it be boarding?
It's a conversation we can all talk about it another day. Should it be boarding? And I had them say now a priority. Many young could be Casa or Canada. Obiko boarding house or whom say, or Yakura would be any parents, and said that time on the Nakuzo. But I had a boarding status on that. And I just come like a boarding and young can in the vacuum, sir. The history behind your boarding school system, no. Osha Efrim Kuma Breso, when he wanted to ensure ethnic and religious and for instance cultural harmony. In the end, me kwesi kwati be did kwesi kwati. Me the meko boarding house ne bia me nua kuluche ba ho a me nua kuluche so bia efiri anwora. Yenyina no me hu no me na atena mfie mienu mfie miensa. So that harmony no so wo ho. Nti sa background no so ya dey also ye hwe. Nti at some point there have to be a balance. It became a policy for us as a country. And now, whether or not it's something that is still relevant, there have to be that conversation, and they be able having one day.
Obi the message be about say, I should let you know say, in Sasia ye can once a win no. And ye say abandon na akwa nsase no. The available land and an animal at the Maya no, and anyway crew man from the Maya no, and almost jina so edc. And see if the government is the previous administration has been accused. Say be a woman to sit down in William and also nurse and an animal crankassanes and an animal so sebi a do baby no woman take near into consideration and some of the answers in a cocomaya.
Nana, there's a wizard and answer passage of the Bemont. Nana, many sure said Nana a land surveyor. Many sure said Nana ever conducted feasibility studies. Many sure said Nana
available land.
No, I'm coming. I saw available land. No, and the Jacob Brent, you may tell us as soon as you could see now. What way? And the matter by that, but what was matter was as well.
Away assume.
Away assume to
so many assassin.
And yeah, that be said another in Crown and go for blockade a UC as well. A diamond swan. Oh, and I mean those wetland and waterlog areas are what who's a baby we see. I saw your failing. What? Mechawa sassy. It was so we see that we see us. Oh, I had there. My bocado. I have me see that in so to mean to me the Emma. And this assassin way they be a mention a cacra. Sasasi ya no ebi a meet many baby for mahwe. Again, context is very important. If we take the text out of the context, I will be missing the trust of the conversation. And then one assembly eka we say o person enhance access and kwara bebree ti fi omunya opportunity based on due to infrastructure. Ye who say ye major setback no so no the bigger problem ni kwara bebree almost select achimota and kwara bebree almost select presec legon and kwara bebree almost select St. Monica's. Other now expanding infrastructure, on expanding be wo.
And now what the case of the assassin. And argument in the chair. Sanka existing schools no anka hono mo ye hono ye expand hono more.
It's one of the solutions.
Na nkwalande do na.
It's one of the solutions. But all cite it properly.
Yes, funny say we want every child to have access to education. And as you the nkwalande nyina about this existing school now. Were developed already. And then I enter mu enkom ya hudo bia. Ahwo no nso no per school na ebeko ni ntino. Ebema community no kwan so temi anya adwuma bi aye obi
obeko. Add a body facility to it.
Sane man keten.
And you add a body facility
to it.
Schools
ni nyina na say ye sha say ye na ya adwene say ye day ye be boarding. Some of them were day schools, but edu baby no yeah, converting into boarding. Some of
them were day schools as at then because it was closer to the people. Oh, and now we access because when you also much that was see where obi entimi the enko. And you have to look at it on facts to facts or 5x5 fact cases. Fano based on its merit. School no ebe nkwara no metimako. Eme nkwara na de na betimaya ade aboa omo.
Enti 9 na mo de sa boarding ha eyi ne kan no. Ya kan wo 60. 60 no mo de 9 na we chira mo de boarding facilities aka ho. Enti 51 is it not fair say ye beka say ye betumi aka no say because of 9 no until 51 no so no ye be ma 9 no tintin distance no a tre I contain 51 now.
Yeah, can't say even some of these 51 now come on, and largely some of them ultimately I also say the boarding facilities back home. Some of them ultimately that is the way to go. For me no, me can't say you block projects because we could see room, but we are discussing the challenges that surrounded with some of these projects. Maka the challenge of funding and budgetary allocation be ama. And I make say a movie or what I was a buy some who see TBC boarding facilities. And so me can't say the fact say school work in the bonnet there school work a hard drink kakra. Name there is a way out of it, and that's what the Honorable Minister of Education is doing. But it's only fair say Ghanaians should know. Beyond that, and why are DB? What the school operationalizing committee aba? School operationalization committee. School operationalization committee. Baby say be a school ya can was be a flaudi. It be a series the space of work and the who said do 100% and I be do 99%. Quickly, committee will inventory of every school. As soon as possible, then we school no. Actually within 7 days. That's what operationalizing school. No. Now for the back computerized school selection and placement system. It's not even only at the secondary level, at the basic level and at the tertiary level. Say, but a problem of say infrastructure abandonment. This week, the Honorable Minister of Education launched a friend say or inaugurated committee. No, so say the school operationalization committee say problem no, it will be a turn of the past. And yes. We are not saying challenges in the Jacob and the obesi, if we are not contractor any site, contractor, why see, and what's a young for Modo when you be actually, would any dear we are who say a drew her, nothing either. So, and yet about discussing the challenges alone, the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. I said to me, but was providing solution to the challenges ahead. And for me, a honor may managing who and I say a honor more important. There's not about say, you could see we see room or could see and the was then you are reducing the debate or the conversation to political debate and I say be a propaganda. That is not our focus. Our focus is that one, you inherited almost 4,000 projects, 3,897 of them. It is instructive said 1,001 had been completed and are in use. Oh, that is more important. 2,896 yeah, what can I say a friend say a deficit e-blocks you e-blocks that demonstrated to you say 31 or why they account 29 one in use. The rest at various levels of completion also and also aflawo die ade
aflawo die na pese ye hwe wansam ka na kan beka wansam na wo de obemi baby a edan ne wo no se eni akira nkwara be nya access se ehwo na ehye da eni akiri sa
no fine say kanya fine Honorable Minister of Education we see board na daada
anti ade na bana che 5 years around the line yentumi wiye asanke ye wiye anka enkwada ebekọ Jojepenyi secondary school Josek any one yet says anka dodo no akra betumi akosa school no nanka easy pressure with those schools around no so and then amana chasa
okay aflawo die o hwe ehon sensema aban the contract mine on the 14th of July 2015 now the expectation is that could be in the 14th of October 2016
okay
me mount two sides of it. One is the economics of it and the contractor no zenka within a space of 1 year could be projects na there every home. But over the space of work now, even though it was from 2015 to 2016, it drew on the rate of work was 23.47%. The status of work now.
Time so di no.
No, it's my 23.47%.
Okay.
23.47%. No. Say many architecture there, but roughly no, you should be looking at be the first say abroad to us on now. It be a fin na what see first floor. Me find is bibisa. I think the experts will tell us, but hypothetically, that's where I will gauge. Internet is when demand the every as soon as I went to marry, you know, the woman say, let us say within 1 year I went to marry, you know, 1 year now man I say be on sedan 1 year and be not to us but not to cement 20 cedis, and then on to to cement in 20 cedis. So let us say price na be up, or china say not try around 50 cedis, and no one to me to the I say price na be there, and at every stage, be obey a human could rubiano, obey raise IPC based on the current standard economic rate or the bed, because they went to main project in that space, you know. And the the other IPCs, say by 5th June, human kakra. And also the for buy, and no what do 33.6%. Then say all quanum. 27 September 2018 no started for by say adwuma no go so because now honorable minister of education Dr. Yao said do say adwuma no hwe no ye and also they do 45%. 4th May 2019 no started do 78%. Na and also oye dey oyeba. Currently me no ka say do 97%. Sorry 96%. But one issue about ho so ye sikasem because consultants and also any contractor no almost like I say adwuma no time amode ma ye ne time bread ye ne music asem ne music atwa besi ne no ama adwuma no boa ye den.
It's who do we blame?
Of course you blame the me I'll resist that temptation of even answering who do we blame. But at the end of the day, no, the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Yao said, which takes responsibility for what was done in the past. Will be a order contract at 1 pehuska. You buy a better us. Because if indeed, say, order contract, na pehuska, contract, we manufacture, came a drew stage. But we take responsibility for it. And that is the beauty of leadership. Honorable Minister of Education will say, I am there not because there is no challenges, but I'm there because challenges never, I will be there to resolve them. And that's what he is doing. And they say, no, consultant receive IPC number 7, so the Bejisika. And who semne sikano, I drew A amount, I drew B amount, I say, Yamu Hene Kawasem. And Honorable Minister of Education, Edna Esim, say, get fund Dr. Richard Boardroom Abba. At least the Oma engage contractor, he is now backer or no Kwakwaye Jumana everywhere. 96% the building is complete. The Akaye Bruni furnishing. Furnishing just with the Mkuyabe, the Ebesim, Ebi at the water closet to be a chimney ma, also Hena or Josh be a table, teacher need table, but transfer the idea so books, shelves are over. A Hona I the Aka. The Honorable Minister of Education is even hoping, say, and hopefully by February now the school has been operationalized. In the year, say Nyamepa by February, the contractor also is very committed. So also outstanding issues be resolved. Not also be timaya by February. Even say computerized school and selection placement system and also ahead the year select. But again, yakasano, let us clear the doubt. Say impression a critic say about 5 years ago no be attended to the project and it wasn't true. Say 5 years ago ni be in fear numini aban before for ko be am to so e bi kra me comments like be foul be more famo dan no. It wasn't true.
But from then I think I know Eastern region.
It falls within the same category because it falls within the same category.
Which category?
Sir, because you buy an sir. I need to get the exact also percentages because I mean these are we are talking about 124 of them. But the also say side impression of Mukreti, including the flower one, say as a Diana Obiaba and the project has been abandoned.
1 year, no, why 23%?
23.47. 23.
If I say 23.4, in fact 23%, in fact 24%. Or the 1 year and the year 24%. 5 years. Until 24, until 24. Next, on the 24 no na Fibiana. Na kintu mi nyama ne nyantem kakra.
Enye you block 1 year you. Who 3,897 projects ya abandon away.
Make up a specific 1 year.
Make say enya no kwa na mind focus. Who 3,897 of them I was here near. Na no koye because say Domihene ebia hold the project or Domihene mekasa entiana. Hey about the ultimatum near him for kasa there. Say be eja kwabna ko tena be for cameras. But be at any of the 3,897 projects and young going there. Kohini be bekasa. And that would have also been problematic for us. So kohini be project when he be so also be kasa say the project ya. And yeah, eja kwabna ka wo adwuma ka even under the education ministry nkwa na ka be cover 3,897 projects. Ka kwa na project we ka ho ase was me ultimatum or chana December when we are me be forward 14 for when we have a father, and that would have been problematic for us because then you block on one year. There were a number of them.
Say, you know, was it an ultimatum?
I just come say OTB.
So video no ho mo video ni na mutie obi the message bi aba ha. Ni ahwe say nana na kasa no. Oma ultimatum ana say eye adesede no de tuja. They yen clear say na free of record. O say me din the Fauzia Benedicta. I will say, Aja, please read this message for me. What can I say? Oku School was a once, one of Western North region. That was the only secondary school when she was there. It was very far from town. And the bar provided basa near Domokoba, Ibribia. So please tell your minister to build a bungalow for teachers in such schools and get buses for the students. boarding isn't that important. Thank you. Just on we cool school no. Na emuche pa enti omo de na amanfo bi start here yi na so na enye enfa ho ni nyina aka ho bi na madwuma die ne de enti yenhwe enti Kwasi Kwarteng prince ebetumi abo afrawo video no na yentie asampoten a togbi fiti kan ye se yetumi enya no a na fi yahwe se either it was an or tweeting no omaye ana say adesede eno de etudwa
obomehwe
ombebo enche bia omuguso ye ho adwuma de dende ombebo na yatumi etie sansam no na yahwe enti Kwasi
ejakabra
wo hwe a say mo say 124 and amuguso na no mo do mo saka
ana omanfa mo sanka ana mo awode
ye
ono saka da say wo de asabafo mi da
bi mo awode ye na wo maye mu dodo sen wo maye mu 29 and mo so mo baye mo beto aso aye dodo sen 31 enti 29 plus 31
about 60
enti maye mu 60 fine enti 60 no ni nyina operation na se bi nya operation
operationalized ni nyina nkra ko mu school
ni nyina
60 obetimi dia ma ha metimi bobo bi wa bi a wo mbrentia
ebre nu shanti ntu bo ni nyina enti dia aka no ye de na mo ya fa ho
dia aka na make say at various stages of completion no emu mako I think it's 21 of them I mean confirm yes emu mako we a list of completed completed between 2017 to date uncompleted okay 60% and above no and no mako 21 at 21 no, at least above 60% completion and also no but no the honorable minister of education and director and say the a be above 90 95 96 completion no quickly no the attention should go there so because for instance to be the or can one say me no 96%. I mean enye for say 96% or what e be a won fa focus on yanko na kwa dey 25%. You quickly also we that we ho no dey entem. Na be can those ones that you can operationalize near the we have operationalized near the eho. And so that is the focus. The about 60% now na ko say priority areas pa ye here na dey aye one say no about 60% e be a 90 e be a 95 e be a 96 wo hwe sa aflawo dia ye ka ho asema as and even September 2020 they are around 65%. And as I say aba bedru sa 96% na ye dey edru no enti which means that the work progress is very high. We are very committed. So yeah dey asema ye kan na ye tia wape yenka say project we wa ya amade those projects and say be say your problems we education sector those problems are not a day-year-old problem, not 2 years problem. And yet 3 years now, we are abandoning projects for Ghana. My mount data and much will say, yeah, took office a crowd. Now there were 3,897 of these projects that were ongoing. You can call them abandoned projects. These problems will always be there. But going forward, no, we need to make a decision as a country, set up and no problems in the view. You better award the contractor. Award contract only when you have funding for the contract. What I said, that is one decision I get funding. Because get fund say, Dr. Richard Wood, okay. I'm going to investors in this. Before award the contract, make sure there is yes, when a financial clients and quiet no chana umintimi na fe contractor e bi aka obetwa 8 million Ghana cedis no obewie no atwa be 60 million Ghana cedis wo.
Yankwa flawo na togbe fiti amanya ne nsem a wo kan ye no. Muma yentie ne yenka se na eye ohye e na wo hye se wo mumia no ma no ana se na ode adesrede e na atudwa yanwa so ne yentie ne ye pa.
After senior high education, primary to the senior high education, the next degree that my people have to do is to go to border and go and do what Kayayo. No school. The only school that we have again is the RC Senior High School that belongs to the Catholic Mission. It's now what, a minor seminary. So this thick population have no place to go. And people sit down in that big hall called Parliament without thinking of a place after after the Tema Harbor. The next revenue generation is from Aplau border. It's from Aplau border. And I have to push the former President Mahama, for that structure to be what? Constructed over there. I have to be running from here to Accra. Begging. Should we beg for education? No. There's something happening. If we have to beg for education before our what? People can go to school, then I don't know what is called a democracy at all. And look at the structure standing over there. 90% finished. 90%. Yes. Now the thieves are having their full days again, going there, removing everything at will. Now, in the era of the MPP now, we have the free senior high education. And my people are not benefiting because the school is not here. I'm sure by next year, February, school, new entrance will go to school. So your coming here is the redemption to the suffering people of Aflao. It's a redemption, really, to the suffering people of Aflao. That carry this message to the Minister of Education. That come after high education, primary new entrance will go to school. So your coming here is the redemption to the suffering people of Aflao. It's a redemption, really, to the suffering people of Aflao. That carry this message to the Minister of Education. That come February, I want this school to be open. Yes.
Enti the Togbe Fiti eka no. Or say come February, I want this school to be opened. I want it to be opened by February.
So Togbe Fiti Saka said, Okopa, or say for President John Mahama, he begged him for schools projects, and for President Akufo there's about ultimatum. And for me, I'm happy.
No, meba, or can I say, or say, he has to beg, he has to go to from Aflao to Accra, Bribia,
to President John Mahama.
So as a sort of patchow,
so with one president you beg, and other president you give ultimatum, but it's fine.
It's not an ultimatum. Me per se bisa.
Oh, it's not what say, Jacob.
Or say I want the school to be open by February.
Oh, Jacob, not as I say. Oh yes,
I know ultimatum.
Oh, and me dey cry me who say enya the born if you give ultimatum because your him for no has always been partners of your development. They have always been stakeholders in our developmental yeah. Nti ohene oba me kuro ma santi ache domia Brazil. Nana bedi akọ wuzu bedi akọ ono abribia ohwe nkoso na ayede aba ne kuro se Togbe Fiti so ehwe nkoso aba ne kuro ma ankanya de ebonio but sometimes if you look at the facts surrounding the issue now all the available data and information some of the ultimatums be or be what maybe you can do is probably to continue to appeal say aban hwe no onye de onye ma do ye ne de so ohene bia penkoso ayede ama ne kuro ndi do ye ne me na ayede adwen. But the Ministry of Education, no, and the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. I said to you, or no, what is more important to him, no, you say, Obi make sure say, hey, I could be anywhere better nephew, but just because on access. Sabi, Obi or no STT project na one year, Obi or no better so. Obi what the free SHS initiative by said, I also our intervention, innovative intervention, just like double track aba. One man who ultimatum between 5 to 7 years, I say, obey double track a floor. Only me, no one any tip I say, Obama access to school by completing buildings. But for me, we will continue to do what we are doing.
As some of we can, me per se, ye seen ye pa. A son say, said be a ye becano no, a be an uncle say, or say, na of feet a flower bank and had be a patchow and send a match in your school. And so, Mrs. Sadan, meaning say, do we have to beg for education? It is obviously no. And near the kind. And then the Tosumin was say, I want the school to be open by February. Is it an ultimatum? And na warma. And now say, me per se school no, ye be no, busumi mi no entem. Busumi and santem, send a bank quarantine between me, but me per se, ye be no, a ye or she. And now say, you bet you can say, ultimatum.
And that coming, who said I make her say? Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. I said to me, say your show, say your show, and the people of Ghana will decide.
But as I say to me, clear, sir, a uniform was never ya. Obi nkonya adwen bi or say I want it to maybe that ba betina ha no that wo ba betina me metina ha no wo bisa me abeyi wa no enti
na de won kira wa adwen
ya bi wo na wo ba beka
and me tie wo say your sha na your share
enti your share o say me pese ye bie school no ma me February your share
aja kwa na make say ohini bia penkoso enti won de say your share say your share no ade ba ko na Honorable Minister of Education Dr. Adetume se menkanche no o si ni school no said the why bi ho adwuma no to me 31 no said o si fa na de from 23.47% or there ba be do 96% no o she ne boss school no be wi ama no eno na Honorable Minister of Education ho hia no because o say double track aba or the phrase as by increasing enrollment from 800,000 to over 1.26 million which is over 50% increase. Eba no afi ehun se nkra bebre over 400,000 or high intimi and deny more access. The question was so be deny nkra na access and also more opportunity to go. Was there any innovative response? Yeah man nkra na double track which is not new to us. After all university system now or even multi track. Yeah wo omo mobile regular omo mobile evening omo call distance yeah omo call modular me game per school me call modular me call regular. And so which is not new to us. And was you introduce the same thing in your secondary level. We are within a space to 5 to 7 years. They clear by increasing access. Access in the union, Papa Mama, they were starting or no starting. Was here in the blocks. Yes, you buy, yes, you go so STEM schools and Bobo Chair, no say access. And this will be what any tipa, yes, so be to go 50 school now. Me assure said the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. I said, is even more concerned so be school than any other person in Ghana. And the baby Yamano. And the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. I said, it was a main cancer to be say. Na asama waka no watena so pemu na said you ogusu ye no obekoso a no aye school no ama no
and come here the emphasis allowance ho
okay
but I'm telling you say messages e ba no
na me so bogusa me na me so bogusa
da be na mutia
I mean just on the other side because me come ho me follow up our Ministry of Finance ma me date be say it was expected to pay I me guarantee interview on one of the stations and also and I make us September. Na September ama. Me say Juma me you no di me especially on social media. Me just me no so cry back me. And for me it shows say a concern for all of us because since no one am cry church mo home. And tipaye say be akra school for that number of months.
8 months.
I mean is it 6 or 8?
8.
8 rather.
8 months.
Me say minimum say 6 but anyway the months
are 6.
With the 8 krana the most important thing is say it ought to be paid. They are making the necessary follow-ups. So, Honorable Minister of Education Dr. I said it the last time I called office one or no am frɛ omo ho e from we have follow for update. I want say Ministry of Education there or no beka to send the clients in here Ministry of Finance in here the hintwa. They make to catch up on say information me when you Ministry of Finance and say almost more process here to the final stage. As a controller will have to do the final disbursement. Until a honor name say there has been a delay in normal processes. You will be happy about it because me no muko training college. Me wana for muko training college. Ubu oba from Kwasi ya allowance ma you oba we say utu na no pa de age. Until a problem for all of us but me dey make say omunya botre kakra. Na buy no share especially from the Ministry of Finance and and controller no on share na release this kind of money. When I'm very much aware I can state on authority say the money process in they do the final stage and they will have their money but I know the musampo because I'll resist the temptation of giving ultimatum. We feed the answer the ultimatum it's me koka and now but what I know is I'm very hopeful say as soon as possible a bit here. Honorable Minister of Education was not the BIO the Ministry of Finance mo fan crazy ka mo na for
sika ni ho
oh men ka say sika ni ho but I mean sometimes a processes
so school for that process here move from the first batch so the same processes are there.
I say hamudi wa hada so my accountant do between so I go through list.
Oh no, go through the list but the system is already there. It's a from your system for.
Yeah, just I know clear.
And 6 months no.
Oh and I make us say we admit that there has been delays. We Ghana for nipa bia omo penokre. So Ghana for pen na da, Ghana for pen tro. Ghana for one kai enti if you make an admission say ampa sika na delay delay nyu obi afa hey eja kwa bana you sure say minister of finance the first say they be enquire issue threat to social media be call demonstration and this na obi afa there be but me nka say sika ni ho because I'm not even privy to sika because those things have been normal Ejuma faketwe to the delay. I mean contractors faketwe to the delay, and this is not a problem peculiar with the MPP. Generally we have a general challenge by a sika same as Omai because Omai how this sika do over 60% ya o salary sika workers sika there. Sika no have na they said the better. But I'm assuring them say very hopeful as soon as possible sika na ebetwa mo.
Kwasi Kwarteng dase.
Eja kwa bra so me dase ba.
Kwasi Kwarteng na kasa dem aso ya ehwe omusua wonsam so. Edu baby say ya na me pese won so a wo hwe no wo si ginae wo so ne so wo de tun se nian so now make your own judgment e de fan koma ye ta twetwe no edu baby aba pese baby sa questions bebre but enye dodo na baby sa no na mu no ono no mu aye ode beba no na wa wo hwe no so we afa bi de film say ko benkum say ko nifa no wonim dada enti beda Kwasi Kwarteng ase so nya abre bae na mada won so ase so nya abre hwe me production team we chire no aseda ani ye de be ma omo se wo mutumi boa e ma enne ye nkomo twetwi ye de akọ na wieye asomdwe su sei boko na mu ansa na mesore no enne eye Stephanie Nyame owotakwa enne eye wawoda efi Eric Ejei Deputy National Communication Officer ma NDC wono eye Bono region wono na ede bae se enne eye wawoda Stephanie Nyame awotakwa enti ebegina no so ne eda se da ma munyina ne aka chem so ho Yakopon adoma ye be senhia ye hye weekend na sa ya ne sa hwe hu siye o ha bi ankwankoto midi de Jakobna yakramo